Whenever somebody asks me, what team do you like to support in the Prem, or what team do you like to watch in the Premier League every single time? And whenever I tell them that I like to watch Arsenal or that I support Arsenal in the Premier League, I am a laughingstock. Because for some reason, everybody want to say, oh, your team is a bottle job team. Oh, you guys are almost team. Like we're always like we're always talking about, oh, we could have won this, we could have won that. And they're like, how can you support a team that is like never winning anything in for the next 10 years? Well, guys, I think everybody's opinions on that is about to be wrong this year, because I am literally confident. I'm so confident that Arsenal is going to prove everybody wrong, and they're proving a lot of people wrong as we are speaking right now. Like, we need to talk about Arsenal. They are becoming dangerous. Not only they could win the Premier League, but they could possibly win the double, if not the treble. And I am not being delusional for saying this, because they are proving me every single week that they are capable of winning trophies. It's literally undeniable right now that you can't say that Arsenal is not the best team in the world. Arsenal are one of the best teams in the world. I'm not saying they are the best, because there are other teams right now that are playing really good, but they're not, so far ahead either. They're probably top two. They're definitely top two of the best teams in the world right now. But before we start talking about Arsenal, make sure you like the video and you subscribe to the channel. We are on the road for 50 subscribers, so make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any upload that I'll be uploading every single day. Every single day there's going to be new uploads. And make sure you comment down below, what are your thoughts about Arsenal season? Do you think they're going to win the Premier League? Do you think they're going to win the Champions League? Or even possibly win the double or a treble? So first things first, let's start with the obvious. Arsenal are first in the Premier League, 7 points clear from Man City. They look like they're going to win the Premier League. They have 15 wins if I'm not wrong, and they only lost 2 games throughout the season. Mind you, 2 games. And they are also first in the Champions League. I'm pretty sure they are 4 points or 3 points clear from Bayern. And the reason why I think Arsenal is going to win the Premier League, guys, just look at this stat. 40 goals they have scored. Arsenal has scored 40 goals in all across the Premier League matches. And they only conceded 14 goals. 14 goals, guys. We are talking about teams that are scoring a lot of goals now. The likes of Brentford, the likes of Newcastle, Aston Villa. When you have big sides like Man City, Liverpool. You even have teams like Fulham who like to, annoy other teams when it comes to scoring goals. And Arsenal have the most clean sheets in the Premier League as well, which tells me that they have one of the best pairing center backs in the league, where you have Saliba and Gabriel. Saliba and Gabriel are arguably the most beautiful partnership, the best partnership as a center back in the league, bro. Bro, you have games where they control the game so much in the back line. The way they lead that back line, the way they organize everything. And props to Arteta, because the way he developed Gabriel and Saliba ever since they came into the club, it's actually magnificent, because there was nowhere at this top level as they are right now. Yes, they had talents. Everybody knew that they was gonna get somewhere, but nobody really expected them to become this good unless you was an Arsenal fan. And they also have one of the best fullback partnerships in the league. You have Calafiori. He's arguably one of the best left backs in the Premier League right now. You have Timber defensively. I'm saying this defensively, so please don't come at me. He is one of the best right backs in the league. He got spun by Esteval in the Carabao Cup, but not every single game, every player is going to be on 100%. But the other reason why I think Arsenal is bound to win a trophy this season is that they are in the Carabao Cup semi-final, and they already beat Chelsea 3-2 in the first leg. So they could possibly go to the finals and possibly play Man City. Man City went 2-0 against Newcastle in the first half. So I think both are gonna meet each other in the final. And what a matchup that would be. Arteta and Guardiola going head to head in the final. Something that we all want to see. And I think they could win that Carabao Cup final just because of how, poor defensively Man City has been, and how amazingly, attacking wise, defensive wise, even midfield wise, Arsenal has been. And they're also in the 4th round of FA Cup. And I know it's still far, to go to the semifinals, the finals. It's still far, but nevertheless, they are in every single competition. Some teams, like Real Madrid, Like there's other teams that are out of the like PSG, they are out of some domestic competitions, but Arsenal are standing still on 4 competitions. I'm not saying there's something to make this special because there's other teams who are doing the same, like Bayern, like Barcelona, I think, and even Man City, if I'm not wrong. So please don't take me that word for an answer. I don't know if Man City is on every single competition, but at the same time, guys, they are dominating every single competition. They are really dominating, excuse me, the Champions League. 7 games, 7 wins, 0 draws, 0 losses, and they have the fewest goals conceded in the Champions League. But in the Premier League, they have the best home and away record. That's not something that you just see and you ignore it. Every single time they're playing away, you expect Arsenal to win. Every time they're playing at home, that's exactly when you expect them to win even more. Obviously, there's games where Arsenal is like dropping points, drawing games when they should be taking advantage of other teams that are now winning games. But guys, when you talk about consistency, Arsenal are so much like consistent now than what they was 2 years ago, last year, or 3 years ago. Because Arsenal's biggest problem was consistency in small games. They was winning big games until the end of the season, like a couple years ago. But when it came to big games, the likes of small games, the likes of Fulham, Brentford, even Aston Villa, they was always conceding goals in the last minute, or there was always scrapping by a win in the last minute. That like Bournemouth, where Nelson scored that last minute winner, if you guys remember. Like it was those type of games where Arsenal was constantly dropping points, and it was one of the biggest factors why they couldn't win the league, alongside with injury crisis. The other reason why I think Arsenal is gonna win the league or possibly win the double is that their squad depth is insane. Guys, you have a goalkeeper like Raya as your main goalkeeper. He's been very, very amazing, keeping the most clean sheets in the league. And then you have as a backup Kepa. Kepa is not as a world class, goalkeeper. Don't get me wrong, but guys, he's all right. He's not a bad goalkeeper either. He's not like Sanchez in Chelsea. He's actually a good goalkeeper. And then when you go to the defense, they have Saliba, as I mentioned, and Gabriel, then Calafiori and Timber, but they also have Mosquera and Nkapie, who both can play fullbacks. Not only center backs, they can also play fullbacks. So let's say Calafiori gets injured, they put Nkapie there. Nkapie gets injured, they put Mosquera there. They put somebody else there. They put Skelly there. You know what I'm saying? They even put Nordegaard, a midfielder, as a center back at some point this season. That's actually insane because whenever Arsenal is going through injury right now, you think that injury is gonna like cost them this season. It doesn't, because there's always a person who is filling that role, a person who's willing to play, to sacrifice their positions for the team. It's actually insane to see that Arsenal, after so many years, they are finally, finally have the squad that they needed. After 4 years, they finally get it. And the other reason as well is that their midfield capabilities are insane. Guys, you have arguably one of the best CDMs/CMs in the league. Declan Rice. The best number 8 and number 6 arguably in the league. I'm not saying he's one of the best because you have Gravenberch, Caicedo, you know the debate, what everybody is saying. But guys, he is class. Not only he can dictate games with passing, with tempo, he can also dictate games with set pieces, free kicks, corners. We seen what he did against us at Real Madrid, last season. I don't really need to talk about it, but he is exception. He's so good on the ball, off the ball, the movements, the way he drags the defense, the runs he makes, he makes up ground so good. It's almost like he's like a Jude Bellingham, but he's not a Jude Bellingham. They also have Odegaard. Odegaard is arguably their best creative midfielder in that squad. He's a number 10. Sometimes he plays as an 8. But at the same time, when Odegaard is not having a good game, which sometimes, it's really possible. Sometimes you see Odegaard having a bad spell. They have Eze. They have Eze, who was last season the best number 10 in the league, in my opinion. Bro, I am not going to lie. I don't know what it is that Arsenal made up with the squad depth, but this is actually so good. This is insane. Arsenal have Eze in the bench, or they have Odegaard in the bench. Do you know how many teams would kill to be in the position where Arsenal is? I know for a fact Real Madrid would kill to have a position where Arsenal is right now, to be in their position. Bro, we have center backs. They get injured. We don't have nobody. We put fullbacks there, and they don't do the job. Where in Arsenal, even fullbacks are doing the job. When our midfielder gets injured, sometimes we don't have a good midfielder to play there, so we put somebody from the academy or somebody to play out of their position. And Arsenal, somebody gets injured in the midfield, they have Zubimendi, they have Marino, who can also play striker, but I'm gonna get this later. It's actually insane how in the midfield they can control the whole game. Even the games where they drop points and they lose, you know what I'm saying? They always control that midfield. It's never an issue where that midfield gets run through every single time like a couple years ago. Like you don't see that no more, and it's actually so like refreshing to see this because it feels like a breath of fresh air. I've been supporting Arsenal in the Prem, by the way, not the the whole thing. I only support them in the Prem because I don't like City to win it. But ever since I've been supporting them in the Prem, I feel like the midfield was always an issue and also the defense. But now they both got them fixed. It's almost impossible for them to lose games ever since they fixed that issue. Now this is where things gets really interesting. Let's talk about Arsenal's attack. When you talk about a team that's like, gonna win a treble, a double, even the Premier League, you expect them to have forwards, that are scoring goals every single game. Take a look at Haaland, for instance. When City won the treble, Haaland was on his best debut season, breaking records every single game. Got the most goals in the Prem and made that record for the most goal scorer in the Prem ever. Beat Alan Shearer's record. And then he was also, if I'm not wrong, the top scorer of the Champions League at that year. And apart from him, you have they had Foden, they had Mahrez, they had De Bruyne. They had like goal scorers, guys. And the same thing goes for Real Madrid. When we won the Champions League and the La Liga, you would see Vini Jr. score a lot of goals. You would see Benzema score a lot of goals. 20 GA in the whole season. But right now, it's crazy how Arsenal is first of every competition, and they don't have goal scorers that are on double digits this season. Trossard is the best goal scorer for Arsenal in the Premier League with only 5 goals. 5 goals. And in assists, he's also the leading assister for Arsenal, and Bukayo Saka is underneath him with 7 assists, and I think Trossard has 9 assists. I'm not so sure, but it's crazy how their best goal scorer only has 5 goals, and the most expensive signing they got as a striker, which is Victor Gyökeres, only has 5 goals as well. 5 goals as a striker in the Premier League is considered a failure, guys. Let's not sugarcoat it. If you are scoring 5 goals in the Premier League and you are one of the most expensive signings this season, obviously the most expensive is Isak, and that's another story for another day. But when you are scoring 5 goals as a striker who is expected to lead the team in attack, that's considered a failure. There's no two ways about it. And it's crazy because when Vitor Gyökeres is not performing well, they have Jesus, who just came back from injury, scoring goals every single game now. Look at what he did against Inter Milan. Presence in the box. Crazy, guys. Like they have so many squad depth everywhere. They have Saka, the star boy, who's not a star boy anymore. But Saka is one of the best creative wingers they have as well. The way he can send the ball through set pieces, it's actually crazy because it always finds Gabriel or Saliba at some point. And this is where my next topics come by. Whenever Arsenal are, feeling stuck, or they're being boxed in the midfield and in the attack, or they can't score chances, they can't score goals from open play, set pieces always come in clutch. I don't think you guys realize how many games where Arsenal has been so stuck where they couldn't score a goal from an open play, where they creating chances but nobody's able to finish it. They go to a corner kick, put Rice on the corner kick, send him to Gabriel, it's a goal. Or put Saka on the other side of the corner kick, send the ball in the air. Could find Gabriel Jesus, could find Saliba, could find even Timber. Timber is 5'9", damn near my height, and he's scoring headers. It's insane how they always have a solution for every single problem they have. And honestly, I don't actually think there's any chance where Arsenal finish this season with no trophies. When you talk about the Premier League, the only way they could possibly drop like this Premier League title is if they start dropping points, they start having 5 draws in a row and 3 losses after it. And that's not happening, guys. Throughout the whole season, they only lost 2 games this season. They lost a game against Liverpool in the first leg, in the first game of the Premier League season, one of the first games, and they lost against Aston Villa. You know, the game at Villa Park. But besides that, they have been winning games. When they don't win games, they only like draw like 5 games and they win 15 games. Like, how can you not tell me this is a team that is gonna win the Premier League? And when it comes to big fixtures, they are almost winning every single one of them. Oh, if you're talking about Arsenal, might not win the Champions League because they have Bayern and they have PSG. They have other teams like Barcelona that could possibly stop them from winning the Champions League. Guys, in the Champions League, they beat Bayern 3-1 at Emirates. We all seen that game. They beat Atletico Madrid, Simeone, the Park the Bus FC, 4-0. 4-0. They beat Inter. Inter, one of the best teams whenever they play at home. Arguably, look what they did against Barca. 3-1. They also drew against City. I think it was at Emirates. I'm not sure if it was at Etihad, but that's a good result because back in the start of the season, Man City was a decent team at best. But I feel like the only teams they haven't beaten that are so strong, I think, is Liverpool and Man United. They haven't beat that's like convincing. They beat Man United, but it wasn't convincingly. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't so convincing when they beat them because Man United was so much better than them, and they didn't beat Liverpool in both games. But they also beat Spurs, the North London derby. We seen what Eze did, a hat trick when Odegaard was injured, 4-1. One of the best derbies I've seen in London so far. And honestly, I actually think if Arsenal doesn't win the Premier League, the Champions League, even the Carabao Cup, the FA Cups, all the domestic titles, the international titles, if they don't win it, this season is the biggest failure of all. And Arteta has to answer some tough questions if they don't win it this season because there is no excuses. We don't have players like Zinchenko, Tomiyasu, Eleni on the team no more. Where if we go first, second place, and people are saying we're on a title race, they expect us to win. Now they expect us to win no matter what, and now there's more pressure because Man City are dropping points. Aston Villa is dropping points. It's like nobody wants to win the league this season. So we need to start scoring goals. We need to start winning games, and we need to start keeping more clean sheets because one wrong move like this, Man City is back in the title race, guys. I've played these games before. I have played these games before, and I don't want us to go to in April or May and we are relying on other teams to beat Man City so we can win the title when we just have an open plate right now. All we have to do is eat. All we have to do is eat. We are 7 points clear. We could have made it to 9 points, but we dropped points against Northern Forest, which honestly was, a very disappointing game. But nevertheless, I think we should start taking advantages. And when it comes to the Champions League, we need to go as hard as ever, guys. I don't want Arsenal to win the Champions League just because of the fact that I am a Madrid fan. I want my club to win the Champions League, even though it's hard that we're gonna win it. But if it wasn't for that, I think Arsenal would for sure win this Champions League. Don't come to me talking about Barcelona. Barcelona, we've seen how bad they are on set pieces. Imagine what Arsenal can do to Barcelona when it comes to set pieces. What Barca? How many? That highline they make. How smart Declan Rice is with his box to box runs. He can He can easily get his way to the box area with that highline of Barca. You see Martial and his pace. You know what he can do to Kunde. Kunde has been horribly defensively this season, so bad. So there's not a lot of excuses. We don't have the injuries that that are long term that limits us from winning titles. We don't have a bad manager. Arteta is a great manager, one of the best rebuilds I have seen in the past 10 years. The way he rebuilt this Arsenal team to what they are now, it's actually so incredible, and we need to give him his praise for it. And we also don't have horrible players in our squad. We have you could say world class players. We have world class center backs. We have great fullbacks. We have world class midfielders. We have amazing attackers. We have a good goalkeeper. So what are the excuses if we don't win a title this year? What are the excuses? And I don't want to hear them, because if we don't win it, I think this is it. I don't think we will win it again, because there's no way Liverpool is gonna keep this, this spell for too long. There's no way City's gonna keep this spell for too long. So either we win it now or we don't win it again. And if we're not winning the Prem, that's disappointing as hell. That's very disappointing. But we need to win the other trophies. There's Champions Leagues. There's Carabao Cups. There's FA Cups. I'm not gonna say we're gonna win the quadruple. Honestly, that's so mental to say. No team has been won a quadruple. In the recent years, it's very hard. Teams done it. Like I think Man City did it. I'm not so sure, but it's hard. But we could at least win a double, guys. And I'm not saying they're gonna win the Premier League and the Champions League, but they can win the Carabao Cup. They can win the FA Cup. They can win the Premier League. That's a double right there. It's very frustrating that teams are just pushing agendas. They are saying that Arsenal don't deserve to win titles just because they hate their fans. Obviously, some fans are very deluded, but that's pushing an agenda that's just not fair. Team Arsenal deserves this title for what they've been doing for the past 4 years. They deserve this title. Always finishing second. Always saying, "Oh, we almost got there. We could have almost won it." But this season, it could change the fate of everything. They deserve this title, guys. And I'm gonna be honest. I am an honest guy. I don't want to take sides. Obviously, I like supporting Arsenal. I like watching them play in the Premier League. But they deserve this title. And anybody could tell you the same thing. Everybody could tell you the same thing, that they deserve this title. But yeah, guys, these are my thoughts on Arsenal season, how they're doing so far. Like, share, and you subscribe so you don't miss any uploads for the upcoming week. And comment down below, what are your thoughts? What do you think Arsenal need to do to win the Premier League title? Should they keep doing whatever they're doing right now? Or is there a little change that you would expect them, to do so they could win the title? Or what are your predictions? Do you think they're going to win a double, the treble, the quadruple, or just the Premier League title? What are your thoughts? Make sure you comment down below, and I will be answering every single one of them. That's a promise. But I will see you next time, and peace.